everybody, and I say welcome once again. And breaking news, you've seen that ZANU-PF is becoming desperate to actually have a conversation with Chamisa. I'm not surprised. You saw what happened with South Africa, and they're busy, speaking with one another. And that's one of the reasons why ZANU-PF is like, we're on our own. What's going to happen on the summit? And we also know that there's a pushback from Zimbabwe and said we have had enough of fraud elections. This has been going on for decades, literally. So it's time for us to have a legitimate leadership in the country. Yeah. So if it's your first time to pass through this channel, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell so that every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. I'm also going to send some shout out to all my regulars that always hang out with me here. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. And once more, do not forget to like the live so that we push algorithm and invite everyone to the conversation. I want to send my love to those that just joined us recently. Quite a number of people are joining in. Zimbabweans, I love you and I bless you. Alfred, good to see you. Ambassador of Peace. Peter, it's good to see you. And good morning, Franco. Good morning to you. Okay. All right. It's one thing to talk to someone for the first time, but when you are not pursuing, for a conversation, now you're becoming desperate. That's exactly what ZANU-PF is. I do remember the Daily News reporting that, President Mnangagwa was trying to engage Chamisa, and then there was never a pushback, and there was no response from Chamisa, and now they're back again through the same media that we need to have a conversation. The interesting part is they're coming with terms. I'm like, don't be like ANC, no, EFF actually approached the ANC with a list of conditions. And when they said their list, they were literally just crossing. EFF is full of those graduate guys. Quite interesting. All right, so yeah. They are trying to speak to Nelson Chamisa, but I hate Chamisa speaking regarding that. So you also remember that last time Chamisa had written to President Mnangagwa many times in the hardline were blocking him to have a conversation. I do remember Muchangwa on record saying that no, Chamisa should not speak to Mnangagwa. But now that the empire is falling apart, we know that Muchangwa was fired. We also know the drama that happened recently when his son was arrested. We saw also recently that Chamisa as well was also fired. Quite interesting and very interesting days ahead. It's getting exciting. I'm not going to lie, it's getting exciting because we're very close, to the freedom that we always wanted. Remember, Jackie said ZANU-PF destroyed itself. Right. So the Daily News reported that ZANU-PF opened to Chamisa's party. But wants former Triple C boss to humble himself. Now they're giving Chamisa, conditions. Who's supposed to humble himself here? Who's supposed to be humble? Oh, they are humbled. All right, yeah. So the Daily News reported, actually, ZANU-PF says, although Nelson Chamisa is not more important. This is what they are saying. When you're doing what you call reverse psychology, it's not more important than other Zimbabweans. The party remains open to engaging with him if he puts the interests of the country first. Oh, wow. That's incredible to hear from ZANU-PF of all the people. Speaking to the Daily News yesterday, ZANU-PF Information Director Farai Marapira also said the ruling party wanted to see Zimbabweans working together to lift the lives of all the country's people. This comes after it emerged recently that President Mnangagwa had been holding talks with the acting leader of the Citizen Coalition for Change, Mnangagwa, and other opposition bigwigs. So we must also put that on record that Mnangagwa is not a leader of any Triple C party. So that should be known. We can never be hoodwinked again. We are 24/7 at work, okay? As every time when we go to bed, the other eye is open because we know what can happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it also comes that the administration of the Triple C, other than other main faction, Jameson Timber said any dialogue that did not involve Chamisa would be viewed by many people as a political charade. Chamisa should learn to push people's interests. He must know that he is not more important than Zimbabweans. So this is now ZANU-PF now addressing Chamisa of all the people. Quite interesting days ahead. What happened to you? Yo, what happened? Where's Mr. Muchangwa? I can't wait for him to have a presser. Right. Where's he? What happened? When you were, screaming and shouting, right, immediately after elections, you guys were thinking you are bigger than life. Now life is putting you in your place. No one is going to be on your side because Ramaphosa is also fighting for his life. Yeah. He's young on a thread, right? It's like he's in between. That's what happened. Guys, Zimbabweans have been through a lot, and there was never, anyone who stood up from the leadership of ANC and said, what ZANU-PF is doing is wrong, except the opposition parties. Now that they have to have coalitions, the conversation is coming, right? It's coming in full force. Now, I want us to listen to Nelson Chamisa, because he responded, because he saw the Daily News, and he responded to ZANU-PF. Is on record responding to these utterances from the ruling party. We're going to listen to Nelson Chamisa right now. What did he say regarding the ruling party? Take a listen, please.
Africa, Chamisa, your reaction to the election result in South Africa vis-a-vis.
South Africa. Well, I must say that there are lessons to be learned. The key lesson being that institutions that are independent and professional are important for the stability and progress of nations. If you look at the conduct of the Independent Electoral Commission, it has been exemplary, professional, integrity, and of course accountability. There are a lot of challenges when you have such a process, but if you look at it, they were able to answer to those concerns. You compare that with ZEC. You give them your complaints, they don't answer. In fact, what is clear from South Africa is that ZEC must be disbanded, and be disbanded urgently. There can never be a proper election with ZEC in this country. We need a new independent electoral commission, not ZEC. And that is going to be our charge, that is going to be our call. But more fundamental, we have seen that when you give people the right to choose, there's always going to be stability in nations. The ANC, I'm sure they've respected the outcome. That's how we should behave. That's being exemplary. And I want to thank President Ramaphosa and the ANC for giving democracy a chance and for accepting what the people want. And I hope that there's going to be a stable government, a coalition government from South Africa. And we'll work with that government in fashioning a common future, not just for the region, for the continent, and of course for the world. Africa's time has come. We need to now fashion a next dispensation, the next Africa, based on democracy, free and fair elections, credible institutions, not this rigging of elections. And we hope that SADC is going to play its prominent role in adjudicating the dispute in Zimbabwe, because we have not agreed on the issue of the election. In fact, it's not about our agreement. The people of Zimbabwe know that the election was not conclusive in terms of choosing the leader who should be governing this country. So hopefully that issue is going to be resolved.
Reflection.
Nyaya yesarudzo dzokusouth Africa yatidzidzisa kuti mukurongwa kwese chakakosha muzvina referee kana kuti muzvina pembe anofanira kunge asina kwaakarerekera. Takaona zvakaitwa neIEC yekusouth Africa yakanga ichirakidza munhu wese zvese zvichionekwa chinhano nechinhano. Zvino kana muri muZimbabwe sarudzo dzinotaurwa pakati peusiku, mabhaloti anounzwa pakati peusiku, zvinhu zvinoitwa pakati peusiku. Handizi kuti idzinza reuroyi here rabata musha kana kubata hama, kunyanya vari muZEC. Toda kugadzira izvozvo, ndosaka kuti ZEC inofanira kutoti iputswe titange patsva. Varipo ava vaita masarudzo mbiri, 2018 sarudzo hadzina kufamba zvakanaka, 2023 sarudzo hadzina kufamba zvakanaka. Hatingaiti muzvina pembe wakadaro anoti kana atsamwa unokanda pembe kure oenda kunojoina imwe timu. Toda kupagadzira ipapo. ZEC is not fit for purpose, and ZEC must be disbanded. We must have a proper independent electoral commission and have the diaspora vote. You saw the diaspora vote in South Africa. How South Africans in the diaspora voted. We must have the same here. Diaspora vote is a must. And we are not going to talk of any other election until we resolve the issue of an independent electoral body for the elections in Zimbabwe, not the current ZEC. And not in 2028, because 2023 has not been resolved. We are not going to wait for 2028. The election that must be fixed is the 2023 election that did not produce a credible, legitimate, and authentic leadership for this country.
Muchidimbo Chamisa kushaya kwa amurisi nyika yeZimbabwe yarasikirwa zvakadii?
Yarasikirwa nokuti parasikwa neumwe chete anoda kuti nyika inake zvakanaka. Kurasikirwa. Isu tinoremekedza upenyu hwaamurisi zvizvai nokubata kwawakaitawo kuti dei nyika ifambe zvakanaka. He was a man who loved his country. He was a patriot. He was a peace-loving man. And that we acknowledge in the, honor. That's why we are here. We look at circumstances awa mwakazoitika hazviuya zvinowanikwa munozati pane rwende pese munanorowa matama enziraka asi hazvirotwarasa nziraka anenge ari murwende zvimwe zvinorema masoso anowanikwa asi hatirasi mbere kunokufirwa tinoziva kuti mukomana uyu anga akazvipira kuti dei nyika yedu yaitawo zvakanaka. That's what we are honoring, we are respecting Murisi for his contribution, for his commitment to making sure that there's democracy in this country.
Thank you.
All right, you heard Chamisa on record that, ZEC has to be disbanded. I've been looking at the definition of ZEC, Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. And we must also know that over the years, ZANU-PF has been acting as if they are Zimbabwe. So we must never confuse the two. Now, with the South African one, it's called the Independent Electoral Commission, which means it's far from any political party. It's independent. Maybe it's time that we need to change the ZEC to Independent Electoral Commission as well, because there seems to be a problem here. Because ZANU-PF has always think they are Zimbabwe. That sense of entitlement. And I've always been very vocal on ZANU-PF do not have title deeds to Zimbabwe. Very important for everyone to know they don't have them. If you ask right now, they can't give you. They're simply claiming it's about words and words and words. Anyway, moving on. Dr. Walter Muzembe said one of the clarion calls of independence from colonialism was majority rule and self-governance. We now have black minority elitist rule with the majority settling and voting for the basics, water, electricity, and a job. The Liberation War parties have deferred the dreams, aspirations, and promises of the liberation struggle, land, economic and empowerment, and black dignity, which makes a lot of sense. They've deferred from the real core of making sure that people are free. But now they're abusing, working in cahoots with the same foreigners that they're claiming that they chase out of the country. It's all about lies. I mean, you heard President Mnangagwa on record that ZBC is their machinery to push propaganda. I was like, no, I understand, sir. We have known that for years. You were simply just cementing what we knew. Unfortunately, we have known it. That's what happens when a person is getting younger. When you're getting younger, right? You're getting younger to be like a baby. And you know how babies are. I remember my brother when he was young, and my mom told him, I did not like the behavior of this man when he comes here to buy stuff that we were selling. But the moment he came back, my brother told him, he said, Mama said. You understand? That's what I'm talking about when you're getting younger. You know what I mean? So the truth is now coming out because people are saying out. The truth is coming out little by little. Now, there is a terminology that we all know in our culture. It's called wafa wanaka. Correct? Wafa wanaka. And I'm sitting on the other side. I'm like, this is quite interesting. The Triple C, cabal, across the board, which includes Chamisa as well, they've had a lot of a rocky patch recently where there was, back and forth and back and forth. There's a man who's masquerading as the Triple C leader, shabangu, came to the place. And here I am, and I'm sitting, I'm like, wafa wanaka. Guys, I want to put this on record and make it very clear to everyone that if you love me, okay, please send me my flowers when I'm still alive, okay? You might as well not bring flowers at my funeral, because what's the point? What is the point? And here I'm sitting, I'm like, well, this is the guys that could do kind of like they're gonna moor each other. Now they're at the same place sitting, sitting together. And this is actually very, very normal in our culture. That and I hate it with passion. And I want to say this to you across the board, Zimbabweans across the world. Please love your families where they're still alive. Because you may not see them in the next day. Nobody knows. Tomorrow it may be too late. Please tell your family you love them. Please spend time with your families. Please love your children. Listen to me. There's no reason for us to have hatred towards each other. There's no reason. But these cabal went to a funeral, all of them, from the fights to not becoming, again, it's a Shona or a traditional Zimbabwean problem. When someone was hungry, you were not able to help. Let's reach out to our families and be of a blessing to them while they're still living. Okay, not jumping up when people are dead. That to me, I find it weird. It's weird. Honestly, if you love me, please send me my flowers now. No, send me now. I want them now. I want them now. All right, so let me just tell you, a lot happened at that funeral. That Chamisa was a lot. I saw Tendabit was there. Sengeso Shabangu was there. Let me tell you, Sengeso Shabangu was there wearing the top, like those Italian suits. That's what happens when you do wrong, right? The one that tried it, like Shabangu in South Africa, he was beaten by the people. Right now, he's living in fear. Can show you the Zimbabweans, we are very good people, right? We are. That's why they can walk on top of our heads. But you can't do the nonsense that's happening in Zimbabwe, in South Africa. You will never try it. You don't try it. Which means, Mr. Shabangu, people are even calling out on social media that the moment this war era settles, you know, without the cap of ZANU-PF toxicity, these people have to be arrested. If they take the money, if they take this money and eat it like what Wikino did, take the money for ZEC and eat it with the people within the ZEC people, within that parameters of politics, and lying that they were election just to loot money from the state, they are going to be arrested, and most of them are going to be life imprisonment. So I suggest, Mr. Simengo Sawangu and Vanawashmin, if you are part of this deal, please do not take this money. Don't, because it's coming back. I can warn you, truth, it's coming back. Don't be fooled. Don't say I did not warn you, because I'm telling you now, they're coming for you. They made it clear yesterday that we will arrest you for that money. Right, will be arrested. So here is a bit of a kicker. I think before I even talk about the kicker, I want you to listen to Tendai speaking, because Tendai also had a chat again with Tekmag. I want you to listen to his speech and hear what he said about the dead and also about their relationship with Chamisa and other people. They were all open, you know, during the time that they were at this funeral, which make it even more interesting to watch, actually. More interesting. Take a listen, please, from Tendai Biti.
Yeah, 26 March. There is not Shoma. So we needed to utilize my spaces that I got in our not until Shoma. So that in a frontline team here, we are 80, Baba Chauton Wende, Shumba, Temba Mliskwa, Vauchi, Vanachukwina, Vana Matzimure, Daona Mushoriwa, Aripanapa. So taito kokasa utaona nasi tukunika si. But Murisi, angari, zifu prekiredi lumpa homa baba aingu na kugotuka, kugoteka kugotuka speaker. So mukaende mahansad, you see with Murisi, any notoriety, ye, the MP aka zingwa na mtenda kufura munwezi. Because he would fight him, Maurice was a human being. Tigata regime, he was not a politician, he was a human being. Ano kufonera, ano ya ku office kwako. Pani time ya aka uya ku office kwangu. Zvinhu zvanetsa muna February takagara muzuva. Akanditi baba, ainditi baba watawanda. He never called me Tendai Biti, baba watawanda. Kana mama shakada vaiva baba wamake. Akati Pasika politics zedu hapa tofana uramba takabata. He was very clear about that. Anga in a gift yekuti he could transcend my political parties essay. So no nabona chitaura nevanhu veZANU-PF woshagara kutaura chi, but here that gift yekutaura nemunhu wese, because Murisi more than anyone else put Zimbabwe first. That's why tikuona vanhu vari panapa vese, you are a testimony. Murisi, what Murisi was, he was a human being. My testimony ataurwa na vamashakada. My testimony ataurwa ne twin brother yake vaseso Zvidzai. There was a permanent confusion between Zvidzai and Vizwai. So they were made best friends by nature, but chauya ku history yacho why makutora zvemadzidza ndichapedzisira nenyaya yemadzidza iyoyo. So my testimonies of a human being tarasikirwa hama dzangu ndarwadzikana. We lost Murisi Muzosakati by people who try election ya 26 March.
All right, so you heard Tendai Biti speaking about unity that they had within the parameters of True Citizen Coalition for Change. He also spoke about that the dead was a human being, which he said a lot in a short clip. I mean, for me, when you talk of human being means, what he's trying to say is we make mistakes. You know, but what do we do when we make mistakes? He also mentioned about the unity, that even if you can talk to another person from a different political party, doesn't make you an enemy. I think this is the problem that we have in Zimbabwe, of thinking that if I sit today with Kasukure and have coffee, it's a problem. I must not sit with him because now I'm selling. What am I selling? I stay in South Africa where we can sit with anybody. We don't know the culture of that one is an enemy. That one is an enemy. We just know to love each other. Right? I can call anybody and go right now and we're just going to have a party. So it's a problem. It's a culture problem that we need to work on to be one people, knowing that there is no one who's selling. If someone decides to do anything that is evil, there will be consequences, right? You don't have to worry about their actions. But in the end, we must remember we are human. We have to love each other. There's no reason of hating one another because someone believing in a different, view. What is that? What is it about us? I don't understand. I do not understand. I don't see anything wrong with talking to a person who is ZANU-PF, but I have to do it very carefully because I've heard that, so you need to be very careful of being either you're going to be poisoned or they can do anything evil towards you, which is sad to hear. Extremely sad. But I think I've taken it upon myself to actually get days where I'm going to be praying for the country. And one of the things I'm going to be focusing on is praying for those that are being used to do any dirty work with the regime. I'm going to pray for them, that God has to loose them from these chains. It's Satanism. No person should ever be able to hurt their own brother or sister. What for? What for? Who owns Zimbabwe? Nobody. But will come and go. Mugabe used to say, never in a million years. You heard, Smith saying the same. There will be majority rule. You know what I'm saying? Black people, where are we today? Mugabe said, I'm going to rule from the grave. You also hear President Mnangagwa on record, I'll rule and rule. No, all those are simply words. They're simply words. At the end of the day, who owns Zimbabwe? Nobody owns the country. Absolutely nobody. Do you understand? So you must never fear. Keep your eyes on the ball. The love that you should have for each other. Unity. Unity is the only thing that will take us forward because ZANU-PF is tired, worked, using the machination of divide and rule. And what we can do, we are going to reverse or counter that with uniting all people so we can love each other and become the people that God has called us to be. But here's another heavy twist within this shabangu saga, which makes me wonder and think, was I right from the beginning when I said maybe this was simply a political game? Because there's a huge twist that has been dropped by TechMag on social media now. I'm going to read for you. So Tonio said that he have received disturbing and more worrying information about the powers behind shabangu and the whole game plan. Hear that out. He was a creation of a very senior woman. Very senior woman. To a point that she actually edited a letter to Parliament with the names of CCC members to be recalled. Right? And I've got 3 women that are in my mind now. Well, let's carry on. Surprisingly, in media interviews, shabangu kept calling the Kufa recall a mistake without explaining. Kufa is talking about Bishop that was murdered. Remember the one that was murdered? And someone confided how he was also ignorant about the final list. Get that? So a mistake was made. Someone had to recall, which was a mistake. You remember that story? So 3 people were added to the list without his knowledge. Shabangu said 3 people were added without his knowledge. So it means someone was kind of working on the list. Now we're going somewhere here. Some CCC heavyweights aligned to Chamisa also negotiated with Shabangu. Interesting. This was done to make sure Scott and others get access to Parliament. But the big game plan was a 2/3 majority for term of office expansion. The rest of the guys like Woshmengume were just bitter about Chamisa, but they did not make shabangu. A leaked first-time conversation between shabangu and Woshmengume is even shocking, as Woshman is heard saying, "Over my dead body, you are not our Secretary General." Okay. Shabangu was told by her that they can play wapusa and the state still will support the move and he was going to be rewarded. Now mission accomplished. Fast forward to today after robust engagements, Shabangu was cornered. He has tendered formally the signature back to the party and the speaker is yet to announce the development. So what it means that Shabangu is going to be out of Parliament. He's actually a non-entity right now. That's what they're saying. Huh? I'm not the only one who's tired of gimmicks. Am I the only one who's sick and tired of gimmicks? I just hope this is the last drama we ever had in a political space. Never again in our lifetime. I just hope this is the last time. So they are telling me that Shabangu is going to be out of Parliament. But remember, the war vessel on record said they don't want to see him. He's a political criminal. He's going to be arrested. I guess it was like, no, you can't drag me, guys. I don't want to be arrested. Because if they're telling me there's a woman, now there are 3 women that I'm suspecting. Number 1 woman, the woman that people have been saying, Mama Kore, she's one that I'm just kind of, but again, you're going to hear her speaking on record that I have nothing to do with all this charade. There's a woman in parliament with short hair. I don't know her name. I don't know if you guys can help me. What's her name? And I'm going to ask you to drop your location, please. It's very important for us to prepare. Drop your location. And apart from your location, I want you to like the live because there are almost 400 people here. Like the live so that we push algorithm. Other people need to come to the conversation. Enough of being played dirty. Right? This time we want conversations. We want conversations, right? There's a woman with short hair in parliament that you see pictures that are circulating on social media where she's greeting Shabangu and she's smiling and Shabangu is holding a stick. Can someone tell me what's her name? Because I don't even know her. But I want the name because I need that name for future reference. I'm going to call you out tomorrow, maybe 5-10 years to come. I'll call you out. That woman, what's her name? If you know her, please help me. The third woman I'm going to, but again, it's very tricky. You also know that the president's wife, the first lady Auxilia, hosted Shabangu recently. It was a woman meeting, but Shabangu was there, and people were asking, what is the man doing in the meeting of men? What is the man doing in the meeting of women? But he was not the only person. There was also another man next to him, but which again makes me wonder. These are the three women that I'm saying, they're the ones that I've seen kind of. So who is that? Who edited the list? Who decided to recall the dead person? Because let me just make it clear. Yo, wherever you are, mama, prison is awaiting for you. It's waiting. It's waiting. Guys, stop messing up with life. You made a mistake of letting most of your people stay in South Africa because now it's like South Africa and Zimbabwe are kind of one nation. Whatever happens in South Africa, it's going. Okay, Mabo Chinomo on a right. I have that on record. So let me write that down. So that is Mabo, right? She's one of the women that I'm kind of saying I saw it very close to Shabangu, smiling, right? Mama Hore is on record. I never did this. I want here to come out and say I never did it. Okay, so Mabo Chinomo. All right. We are following this story. This is becoming very juicy and juicy and juicy by day. I think people are now scared. They say, I'm not going to go to prison because I can see things I'm not really sitting properly. I'm going to have to pull my name out of this messy. So, Shabangu may be out of parliament soon. This whole charade may deteriorate. You also heard, you hear Wendes go saying, we are not part of Shabangu. This was a political game. Now the question is, what political game? Was it because of the dynasty? Was it because people are just kind of trying to push an agenda so that they can chase someone out? We're just watching from a distance. This is becoming more juicy and juicy by day. But I've reminded you before that the person who tried in South Africa to play Shabangu's drama, his name was Jabulani Kumalo. He was beaten up when he was coming out of the court. You don't mess up with destiny. And I'm not a person who always push an agenda of violence. But guys, you can't mess up with destiny. You cannot mess up with destiny. Also, Joanna Mamwembe is on record saying, I'm not working with China. I'm waiting for that person to come out. But who could have such powers? Who could have such powers? Because remember, Mabo Shinomona is at the forefront. I'm saying she's at the forefront. So that's what I'm saying. We kind of, I'm just kind of, she's got the powers. All right. For now, we will pack it there. We are following because Teotonio, Tech Mag magazine, so Tech Mag actually, they say they're coming. They're coming back with more details on this story. What is really going on within the parameters of Shabangu shenanigans? And we are waiting. But now because I pointed out Mike Hore, and I told you Mike Hore was at the funeral as well, and then Tech Mag managed to pull her aside and said, ma'am, we need to ask you have been quiet. Then she broke her silence. So I'm telling you, Mama Hore broke her silence. And we will listen to her speaking. You'll hear what she says. She says, I have nothing to do with Shabangu. She's even preaching at the same time, talking about scriptures and all. But let's give you an opportunity to say the side of your story. Take a listen.
Chinhu chasvika nguva yatanga tisina kutarisira. Tozviziva kuti urufu mutemo waMwari, asi semunhu atanga tiri kuona achingozvifambira zvakauya zvikatikachamadza patanzwa kuti vashaya nekuti tanga tiri kufungidzira kuti all is well. Saka zviri kurwadza.
To
tingati vasiya vanga rakadii muparliament?
Vazvizvai tingati hedu in general munhu anga ari eunifier, munhu anga ari munhu wekuti a man of his words, zvaanonzwa kuda kuti nguva iyoyo abudise mupfungwa dzake kuti dai zvadai. So munhu uyo anga aripo mukutaura zvakanaka nevanhu, kuti nditi pane munhu akanyatsoti une daka rake rekuti ane zvaakatadzirana naye zvekuti munhu wekuti anga ari munhu wokurwisana nevanhu mafaitsi chii, anga ari munhu wemajokes, munhu wokuseka nekuvaka. Saka manga iroro riripo nekuti anga ari munhu he was a very good mobilizer, munhu aikwanisa kumobiliza, munhu aikwanisa kuita zvemorari chero dai kuri kuti kuri musanga.
Asi kaonara kuti aikunongotorowo mukana uno kuti tingonzwa divi renyu nenyaya ingati yeconfusion kana kuti kuitika mumusangano kuti zvakamira sei, kungonzwa vamwe vachiti makatengesa musangano, imi munotiwo chii?
Chandinoziva ndechekuti panoitika zvinhu umwe naumwe anotaura pfungwa dzake, umwe naumwe anotaura mafungiro ake, asi chinonzi kutengesa vazhinji chinoda kubvunza kuti chii chinonzi kutengesa. Vanhu vese vanondiziva samaikori kuti ndiri munhu akaita sei, ndiri munhu ashandira musangano kubva kupi, saka handina pandati ndatengesa musangano. Citizens Coalition for Change ndo yandingori sememba, ende ndiyo yandakaendazve nayo kuparliament, tikaenda tikanosarudzwa. Saka dambudziko rangu rizori pakuti zvaita sei kuti tizova vana tizonongedzana nekuti tingori vana vemunhu umwe chete.
Kune vari kuti makatambira chigaro chamakatowa navachavangu, iyozvo mucherechedzo wekuti makatengesa.
Kune vakanga varimo muparliament, ndofunga vemedia vanga varimo, vakatarisa vakaona kuti tese munhu wese akaka Chamisa neizvozvo zvakaitika, nekuti munhu wese aingoti zvichabva maappointments edu anobva from the party. Saka patakangoona mazita akushedzerwa, honorable Wendy ndo vakatotanga vakati there was not even a meeting, speaker vakavaita rule out of order. Ini ndikazosimuka ndikati speaker, I think muri kuverenga zvinhu pane mistake. Mr. Speaker, tipei nguva titaure. He did not even give us time to speak. So kana paina anoda kutaura mashoko zviri zvekutengesa, ndakabvira kare vanhu vachidaro kore mutengesi. Even pandakadzingwa pafirst rico vanhu vaiti kore mutengesi, munhu waDouglas Monzori. Ndikazopedzisira ndadzingwa zvemuparliament naDouglas nesame person andainzi ndiye handiri kutengesa kwaari. Asi ndapedza kudzingwa pana kana akazodzoka kuvanhu achiti kore anga asiri mutengesi. Ndanga ndiriwo also munhu akangowa victimized panyaya iyoyo. Nanhasi tingori pano kungoti musangano kazhinji ukanga waita dambudziko, pakangoita president kuti aiwa ndaresigna ndombomira zvemapato ndichimboita national politics. Umwe naumwe anoita right to that, nekuti munhu umwe naumwe paari ari kuda kutsvaga chigaro. Saka paari anongotsvaga kuti munhu angandirwisa kana kuti munhu ane opportunity kana kuti munhu angadiwa pachigaro chakati ndiani, wongofokasa kune munhu iyeye ototanga kusvibisana, uyo munhu ngewaChabangu, uyo munhu ngewaChabangu. Kutaura chokwadi, a person ane dzakamukwanira chaiye ungakwanisa ngoti uri munhu wemunhu. Zvandakaita ndingaita munhu waChabangu, munhu wemunhu, ungazoita munhu wemunhu, waita munhu wemunhu wozodi munhu anoita munhu weparty. Ndo muzira wandinoita kuti munhu belongs to a party, because the moment yaunoita belong to an individual yakadona newe unenge wadona. Saka pfungwa yangu ndeyekungoti ingorimo mubhaibheri. I think the Kings inotaura kuti nemazuva iwayo kwaIsraeri kwakanga kusina mambo. Saka munhu umwe naumwe aingoita zvaafunga kuti ndo zvinoita. So ndo phase yatiri as a movement, as a party, kuti munhu zvaangofunga anofundzira kuti ini ndoita ichi, inini ndoita ichi. But chandinoziva ndechekuti at the end vanhu vachapedzisira vaita sober and they will come together and they will move, vanhu vokwanisa kufamba. So iri nyaya yekungonongedzerana, aiwa kunongedzerana kwaramba kwagara kuriko kubva makore nemakore zvichingonongedzerwana. After that the appointments dzaitwa dzekuti munhu wese anga achitaura kuti ai isu tiri kuda maappointments anobva kupati. Hakuna munhu anozozvitaura kuti ndinga akasimuka. Asi zvakaitika mahanzadha ari kwaanotaura, asi anogona kutaura anongotaura achingokwanisa kusvibisa. Saka nyaya ingoripo ndeyekuti vanhu vanongosvibisana, kusvibisana kwagara kuriko. But for those vanozivana vanonyatsoziva kuti tiri kutaura zvekuda kungosvibisa, kungopusha munhu aside. Nokuti chandinoziva ndechekuti president after varesigna, munhu wese chaifanira kungoita kuti wogara pasi. Mukuru wedu aresigna ane maissues A, B, C, D. Todi isusu vana tasara ngatibatane hapana anofanira kubvisa umwe, hapana anofanira kuisa uku kuti uyu ngaapinde pachigaro ichi, uyu ngaapinde pachigaro ichi. Zvakaitika mukaita semakudo, mukaungana, mukabatana, kuda baba vari kunze vanoona kuti aiwa vana vangu vari united, vana vangu vanoda kuti ndidzoke ndiite musangiro. Manje yangu wadongo watonga umwe naumwe nekuda kuona kuti inini I have to control, I have to control. Asi inini semuziro wamunondiita handina politics idzodzo, ndine politics yekuyananisa, ndine politics yekuti dai vanhu vakwanisa kuita find each other and move as a movement. Zvinhu zvedu zvinofamba kusvikira president vazotaura kuti aiwa, nekuti pachezvedu hapana kana kanongedzerwa napresident kuti aiwa uyu ndiye achatungamira, uyu ndiye achaita sei. Asi pachezvedu uyu anoti ndini ndiri close, uyu anoti ndini ndiri close. Saka izvozvo zvinouraya musangano. Dai vanhu vangosangana zvinhu zvinofamba.
Saka chigaro ichi hamusi kuchitambira.
Chigaro ichi kune munhu anokwanisa kutaura kuti chinotambirika kana kuti hachitambiriki. Ini chigaro changu chichabva from the party Citizens Coalition for Change. Chinongouya kana chiri changu chinongouya. Makore nemakore kune vaiziva taingoziva kuti zvigaro izvi kana zviri zvemuparliament zvaienda kupi in terms of mugariro nemashandiro atinoita mupati medu. Saka idzo dziri dzepolitics ndine urombo kuti dzingabatwa zvadzo pano, pati pano handifungi kuti ndo patingaita kuti titsvage nyaya dziri kutinetsa pakati pedu, nekuti tauya kuzochema gamba rakashanda kubva vatsvangirai varipo kusvikira pari zvino. Saka inguva yatinofungidzira kuti instead of us fighting, let's unite, ticheme umwe wedu, tumbe decent off zvinhu zvedu zvoona kufamba. Nekuti tikada kutanga kutsvaga kuti mutengesi ndiani, atengesa ndiani, tinopesera takusiya kuremekedza mufi. Saka zviri zvepolitics, pfungwa yangu ndinofungidzira kuti ndezvezuva ramangwana apa panhasi tomboita zvekuvhiga umwe wedu, Mwari otiitira zvakanaka.
All right, you heard Michael speaking. She says she has nothing to do with shabangu. So, but she says something so interesting. She spoke about the issue of when there's no leadership. What is that supposed to tell you what's going on in the country right now? What is that supposed to say to you? Is there leadership in the country? Considering all these shenanigans that are going down there, does that really, resemble a country that has leadership? I'm just saying, does that really confirms that there is leadership in the country? And she's right, because that was kind of one of the move. Do you remember when there was a move between God and the devil, from generation to generation, generation to generation? You remember that? But in the book of Malachi, in the Bible says when at that time everyone was just doing what was right in their eyes, and God was quiet. Face to face the devil and God. For 400 years, nobody made a move at that time. Then come the book of Matthew. Jesus came to the picture. With that move, the devil never recovered from that move. And I'm telling you, the move that's going to work out this time, the devil will not recover. Not again in our lifetime. Even our children and generations to come will never see the kind of dirty that we witness with ZANU PF at the moment. We'll never, not again. This is the last time, the last nail to seal this coffin. Never again. We will draw the line in the sand. This is nonsense. Nonsense? This is exactly the nonsense that we were looking for. That's what we are seeing currently. So yeah, if it's a political game, we're waiting to see how it's going to end. Do you think Mahor is lying? Do you think Wende is lying? Do you think they're lying? Like I said, if it's a political game, we are very much awake to see how it's going to end. Because I know Zimbabwe is always for games. What do you expect? Now, I'm waiting for Mafume to speak, because Mafume, remember, Mafume is also on record saying, oh, yeah, no, they've got this triple C they have, with the MGC structure, all manner of things. That was Mafume on record. He had an exchange with Dara, Blessed Mhlanga, a very interesting exchange. So Mafume tweeted and said, politics is a non-believer's journey. We never sign up to be saints. We mourn my brother at Begotten, and then he put Wende, Washmengume, HSTV, and he said Zim Stereo. This is quite interesting. I'll tell you why I'm going somewhere. He said politics is a non-believer's journey. Right, you don't have to be born again to be a politician. We never sign up to be saints. Okay. We mourn my brother. What he's trying to say is, because we decided to do whatever we're doing, we don't have to be saints. Don't judge us for choosing to sell or to do whatever we did. For choosing to separate our souls and get money, whatever happened to be where we are today. We are not saints. Don't judge us. We are not saints. Okay. And then Blessed Mutlanga, he now quoted the statement that Mafume said. And he said to hear the death of Maurice is why. They knew him as Wuchi. He had been appointed to be the senator by Shabangu, right? I wonder why people feel they should die in power. It's a conversation we are not yet ready to have. This is Dara, Blessed Mutlanga. Mafume responded, and he said, we live and let live my brother. We all choose our career path. Politics is a career path in many ways. Can you hear that? It's a career path in many ways. One is a politician for life, more so opposition politics. We carry our crosses. He who is without sin, may they throw as many stones. An African grave needs many stones. Okay. This is Mafume. Mafume should throw a shade. You can hear the shade he's throwing. He's simply saying, leave me alone. I chose my path. I chose to sow. I chose money over your destiny. Over your trust. I chose positions. I chose a career. What a man with no principles. Can you hear him? He's on record. It's not like he's saying it. This is Jacob Mafume. Daniel responded and said, my mayor, you have laid in many spaces and you left. Imagine you were still at Misa till today. And he said, those who are still there, I know MPs for life. It's not a stigma, but a career well earned. Wow. All careers have those except in limited areas where society has put term limits. Former prime ministers are still MPs in other jurisdictions. I'm proud of his record. All right. And he said, it's wrong. When your health fails to rest, write books, open spaces, entitlement is wrong and dangerous. You can't be mayor for life. Even a gardener deserves some rest. And responded, he said, we all have bodies that are made of flesh. We are all sick in many ways. For those who have been blessed with good health, thank the Lord. I'll continue to be a lawyer. And this is Mafume. There is nothing wrong with the sick, with the sick working for who among us is healthy. And Dara said, well, we will agree to disagree. Being a politician must not mean holding office through hook and crook. It's reminding him how he got to have that position as a mayor, Mafume. He said being unhealthy or old is not a curse. It's a condition of life. One must rest and allow others to lead. It said we see nothing wrong with that attitude. And he said maybe, this is Mafume, having been blessed with good health, you might not appreciate that even a sick person can give value. For one is good healthy, but the essence of life is all one sickness or the other. That's Mr. Mafume. He's defending himself for actually retaining his position by hook and crook as a mayor, right? By hook and crook as a mayor. And Dara said, okay, the point I make is you don't need to hold office to serve. As I grew up, I learned hospital is the house of sick people. Parliament is not. We need to be practical. And Mafume said, it's easy to be cruel. Most people are sick and depend on medicines to live daily. The flesh and brain can manage directly. One of the great thinkers of this age was paralyzed. A society must have institutions that can work with sick. This conversation is becoming very hot, but I wanna like the way, I really love the way Blessed was very clear on his point to say, Mr. Mafume, you don't have to be a mayor by hook and crook. So, but Mafume thinks, no, that's okay for me to be a mayor that way, right? It's okay. Mr. Mafume, from me to you, it's not okay for you to have a position by hook and crook. It has consequences. Don't be too short-sighted, right? Don't be short-sighted. You are too educated to know better. And the way you're son, you're like someone who's actually going to church. I don't know what your defense may be. Because for me, I'm a believer that life is governed by principles. It's not governed by who can protect you. You know, when you have got this cover from a politician, because let me tell you, those people are signing out. Can you see how they talk now? They're signing out. Because age is going to keep up with you. They're getting younger by day, and they're signing out. And here you are. You have all the journey with people that you have hurt. Be careful, Mr. Mayor, because you want to be an attorney, right? You want us to trust you with our work, but we won't trust a man who does not have principles. There are so many attorneys in Zimbabwe. We're all going to come back. But don't forget that your track record is very important. I've been very clear on that, your resume. That's why every time you look for a job, they say, let's see your resume. Can you qualify to have a job? That's what we're going to do in the next Zimbabwe that is coming. We're going to ask, can we see your resume to represent me? What did you do? You lack principles. We shift that away. We move to the next person. So, Mr. Mafume, no, you better forward because the future is not going to be that easy for you. It's not going to be messful. And then Dara said, certainly not in parliament via recourse. That would be a shame to a memory. And he said others have been in parliament after having done worse. Oh, no, this is the worst now. That Mafume is saying, the worst. Others have been in parliament after having done worse. Slept with people, bought, etc. Who is to know one's road from point A to point B? I love him no less, he deserved more and beyond. So who is he alleging that he has been sleeping with people here? Mafume is alleging someone has been sleeping. So now I think my lady has been vindicated. You know that what's her name, my lady, the one that was murdered by the husband. I'm going to look at that story now. What's her name? Linda Masarira, the Aspire president. You know, she's on record that you know, people were asking her to sell her body so she could have a place in parliament. So now Mafume is confirming the same thing. Wow. So there's hey, brothers and sisters, if that's what you're doing to let people sell their bodies to end positions, you're cursed. You are sick in your head. You are sick in your head. That's why you need to get married, right? That's the purpose of life. Get married and stop that nonsense. So Linda Masara is actually vindicated. She was right. She was telling the truth. People did not believe her, but Mafume is confirming now that people are sleeping to get into parliament. Huh? Wow. This country is messed up, y'all. We are being led by sick human beings. Huh? What? Amy, we are being led by psychopaths. Wow. I didn't know people can sleep their way to the top in parliament. Wow. That's deep. That conversation was messed up. It was a lot. I'm feeling sick in my stomach. I can never forget the issue of Susan Mutami, and I'm going to come and cover it up. I need to deal with politicians. You know the story of Susan Mutami was sleeping with the entire cabinet? That's exactly what he's talking about. People sleep their way to the top. Not in my lifetime. What a shame. What a shame. All right, so on the 16th of June is Father's Day. All right, it's very soon. How many days? We're almost like a few days for us to get to Father's Day. So guys, prepare to be a blessing to your fathers. You know, prepare to be a blessing. I want you to pray for your parliament. It's a messy past place. Yeah, I'll tell you. Unfortunately, they made a mistake because I'm here to speak. They must know that if they try to play their date, we will expose them. We'll expose you big time. Yeah, gone are the days where you can mess up the country. We are on a clean-up campaign. You know, we are cleaning up the nation campaign. Yeah, we are not playing games here. We mean business. All right, so Linda Masara, that I was just telling you now, you know she was beaten by their husband. I think she's 41 and the husband is about 29, if I'm not mistaken. According to the statement, he is 29. So it means, I mean, I can only imagine. Me, I'm 41. I dare me not date a 29-year-old man. Not in my... That's a baby to me. That's my child. That's a baby. But anyway, that's Linda Masara's husband. So she made one silly mistake. I think most women do the same, is when they're telling their friends about their marital challenges. So she spoke to someone about her marital problems, and they were chatting, and the person brought it to social media. We did not know how badly she was hurt, but trust me, Linda Masara was really beaten up by the husband. No, he hurt her. That 29-year-old man hurt Linda Masara. Allegations are, he was found by Linda, because Linda's got a daughter, actually mature daughter. So the 29-year-old began to have a sexual affair with the daughter, right? I'm talking about Father's Day right here. You know, 41, right? The chances of marrying a man with children are 150%. I'm 41 years old. So a man I'm marrying, he may not have children, praise God. I may marry someone within the ranges of 35 to 40. Oh, that's very possible. There are so many 35 to 40 very mature men. I can tell you, I know a lot. You'll be surprised. I can marry someone who's mature than me, but he may be having children. So the possibility is 150%. So I'm going to give you a scenario here. If I have to marry a man with children, maybe he's in his 50s or maybe he's in late 40s, because most Zimbabwean men were marrying early, so which means he may have children in the 20s. It means they're my children. They automatically become my kids if I marry this man. They're my children. I can only imagine having an affair with my son's son. Huh? So this man, the husband for Linda Masara, the aspired presidential candidate, is now having an affair with the daughter. That's why they fought. Now when she took the story to whoever the friend was, the friend is telling her, because now Linda Masara is alleging that she forgave the husband, now she's back with the man. Now she just disowned her daughter, but she has taken the 29-year-old man back. Huh? Okay. Right. And let me tell you, it's not the first time to hear this story. And why I brought the story is because I know, guys, there's no politics without family life. We can never talk about politics without addressing the family life, because family is the foundation of a nation. Linda Masara is an aspired leader to be a president of the country. She wants to lead me. And Linda Masara, at the age of 41, she's going back to a 29-year-old and she wants to lead me. She's disowning her daughter and accepted the man back. But once again, you can't judge. Love is tricky. Love is very tricky. You can't judge because you don't know what's going on in their bedroom. I dare you not. I'm not a married person. I've never married before. I don't even know how marriage looks like. But I guarantee you, I know I've seen people doing the same. So, which means it's not for me to judge. But where my problem lies is for a man who is dating his own daughter, right? Someone may argue, but that's your daughter. It must be known across the board. It's your child. It's once again the lack of principles. But the person brought the issue to social media, right? Saying to Linda Masara, Linda, how dare you going back to the man that hurt you and that did so much to your child? This man is a monster. You know, the man went to court and he was given a community service. I remember that. And so this is what Linda Masara said, responding to the person that had brought the issue to social media. He said, I'm an adult at 41 years old who is capable of making decisions for herself and her future. My daughter has seduced my husband. Get that? My daughter seduced my husband. Right? He was tempted and failed to control himself. He was tempted and failed to control himself. He apologized, Akari Papa Chivanu, to me and my parents. My daughter is the one who is unremorseful. He hasn't apologized since and is bragging to the whole world that she fixed me. I am desperate at all. I put Wongani's weaknesses on the scale and realized that he is 80% good or excellent and 20% fault. Why should I throw away the baby and the water? It is better to deal with the faults and maintain the good. Like I said before, I can't judge. Right? Honestly, I've never married. I don't know how it feels to be married. So honestly, it's unfair for me to come here and say I've got all the answers. I don't. But one thing that I know for sure, there are two scenarios here, because I know how women works. And women, I know how they play the games. Women, sometimes they don't lose. So if they want to get you, they play like they love you, but no, you are in for the worst. You understand? You understand? So Miss Masara may be saying, dude, you're joking. I'll get you. That's another scenario. Then there's another scenario of the lack of self-worth. I think there's a lot of women in the same bracket and category, right? We know our families, there's so a lot that our parents tolerate from men. We are much aware of that. And there's a lot also men tolerate from women. We must know it's a 50-50. You know, no one is a saint right here. It's a 50-50 scenario. So it's a possibility that Linda is genuinely in love and she doesn't know how to deal with the situation, but she wants to take her time with dealing with it. Sometimes you just need time. And I afforded the time to do so. But one thing for sure is, please, next time, do not tell just anybody about your marital issues. You're either going to trust professional people, you know, like therapists and, you know, or pastors, God-fearing men, not just because there's a lot of liars out there, whom you can tell your scenario to give you help. Or please get hold of me. I don't repeat things. I don't take things, people's stuff to anywhere. You tell me something, it ends right here. You will never hear it from anybody. It's not by my family. I don't talk about people, you know. Please, because you don't want this scenario, your bedroom stuff are very important. It must be something very private and confidential, and should be treated as such. Because trust me, internet will never forget. I'm talking about someone who's aspiring to be a president of a country. And when debates coming up, this will pop out. I can tell you, this will pop out. So I encourage you to please find the right people to tell your marital problems. It's not everybody, especially friends on social media. Some people don't have hearts. They will spill the beans, and then you are finding yourself in a scenario where you have to explain. It's like this. We all know everything that we didn't even know. But it's very important for us to know that this story here happens in many homes. That's why I want to put it out there and say, guys, women, you're self-worthy. You know, one thing that I always said and I repeat, and I would tell all young people is to say, you need to live as a single person first before you think of getting married. To know you're self-worthy. You need to find your purpose. You need to pay the bills. You need to touch money. You need to make mistakes and start again. I've done that many times. I know how that feels. You know what I mean? I know. I can tell you I've done it all. I know. At the age of 41, I can tell you facts. Right? So I understand every scenario because I've been there. So I'm telling you facts so that when you marry someone, there's an understanding that it's about a friendship more than it is an entitlement. There's a difference here. A relationship has to be about a friendship more than it has to be about material things. Oh, God help me. The problem is people are more obsessed by what does the man has. Or what does he have? He has got a car, a house. That does not mean you're going to be happy. Okay, you must have a relationship with the man. Most men who have met me will tell you, no, don't rush me. I'm asking you about your life. I want to have a relationship. So that when we don't have a house and a car, we have ourselves. Right? You and me, we can laugh even when we don't have no money, but we can still laugh. That's what you are looking for. Obsession of things. Young people, oh no, he's a doctor, he's got a degree in pharmacy. That does not mean him to be a good man. Oh no, she did a degree in the University of Cape Town. That does not qualify to be a wife. It takes understanding to know how to build a home. It's a ministry. It's a calling. It's not for everybody. That's why there are so many women than men. You know why? Because not everyone doesn't have to be married. Marriage is not for everybody. Some people are just born to be single, like what Mother Teresa did. She went to heaven. She's never married in her life. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? You need to know you're worthy. You need to have understanding. It's a lack of self-worthy. Someone with a low self-esteem. I've had many people calling Linda anyhow. I saw a comment that was really disturbing. People telling you that you're not a good-looking person. Shut up. Linda is good-looking. Let me just make this clear on record. Every woman is good-looking. You just need a man who knows how to take care of you and make sure you look good. Guys, we are in 2024. Let me tell you, your skin can be perfected any day, any minute. I can show you where to go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yes. I can tell you what to use. I don't remember another sister of mine I love. She came to Johannesburg. She had a problem with her skin. She was staying in China, very close to me. She had a problem with her skin for years. They tried in China, they failed. She came to me. I went to the shop for her. I said, relax. I've got a solution for you. Today, your skin is like mine. You'll be shocked. There are so many ways to sort of things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't tell me there's no woman who's ugly. Oh, everybody's beautiful. It's just that when the money's in your pocket and you have access to stuff, this is 2024. You can have anything that you want. Don't let anyone fool you and tell you you're ugly. You're not ugly. You are very beautiful. Say, wait until I put the money in my pocket. You wish you could have married me. You understand? So your self-worth is very important. Young men and women, you're self-worthy. Both ways, many too, know you're self-worthy. Because you beg a man on the street who abuses you, you have low self-esteem. There's no man that will make me happy. You know why? I'm already a happy child. In fact, it's a blessing for a man to marry me. He's blessed. That man is chosen. To marry me, it's a blessing. I can bet you, the day I met him, even if this man come to Pielawola, my family across the board will tell him and say, you did not marry a wife, you marry a nation. You marry a blessing. There's a difference. You understand? You need to upgrade. Upgrade. So that when someone hates you, he has a blessing, not a curse. Fights, hating each other, it's just a sign that you don't mean to be with one another. Real relationship has to make you a better person, not your worst. Any relationship that makes someone bring the worst out of you, it's not from God, it's a curse. A relationship from God has to make you better. If you marry a woman, your life must improve. If you marry a man, your life must improve. But when your life starts to deteriorate, you are in the wrong place. You are moving around with someone's rib. It's not his. That's why you're suffocating. Sometimes we need to tell the truth so that people can be free. Now there were so many comments from women. You know, women, when that happens, they also men who had something. And I'll read some of the comments there. So the woman who brought the story to social media, she said, to even defend him is pathetic and goes against your supposed beliefs. Imagine if stepfathers can all be seduced by their stepdaughters and end up between their legs. What a defense for a cheat, Linda. This is too low. And Kurundai is a man. He said, yeah, doctor, no. Please put down this post, please, I beg you. Some people say take it down, but it was already out there. And then she went on to say, give me one good reason, Budi. Linda is a children, he has children. I think she wanted to say Linda has children, and a women's rights defender. Agree, Linda is at the forefront defending women's rights. Or she claims to be. How dare she say such about her daughter and men who had sex with his stepdaughter? Give me one good reason to take down the state. Everyone must know. Zimbabweans just to know. We need to have a conversation like we are doing right now. And then some people say, then we expect to see her as a sober leader of Zim. Like what I say to you, I can't even begin to fathom having a leader like Linda Masara leading me. It's not going to work. I'm a very practical person, and I'm intentional in whatever I do. This is why I've been saying, I'll tell you one reason why I support Nelson Chamisa to be a leader in Zimbabwe. I'll come and tell you the reasons. And one of it is a family man. I'm very clear on that. He's a family man. And I've seen him. His family have never had shenanigans there. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? So someone who is tested and tried can show me the way. So if I have to marry someone, I'm looking up to him and said, look, he became a president because he had a good wife. So I also know that I can support my husband to become something, right? I need a role model. Not people who comes here with all this. I don't want, she can't be my leader. I dare you not know. Practical. We have to be practical. Very disappointed. People say they're disappointed, but she also said, no, she came herself leader and said, like, seriously, Gugu, you take screenshots of our chats to X, I'm disappointed with you and I will sue you. So Linda said she's going to sue her. She's going to sue her for doing that. Wow. And this is an interesting comment. He said, Zevaviri, Vakambo, Vitasunzavo. Now you see, don't get involved. Now you see, and I told you last time, don't get involved. And then I don't normally get involved. I just, I can just give you counsel, but it's up to you to do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, who am I? Who am I? You understand? So, yeah. It's sad, but brothers and sisters, if you happen to marry a man with children, those are your children. If you're a brother of mine and you marry a woman with children, those are your kids. Let's restore sanity in our society. There's nothing like having a balanced family life. You understand? I think my husband will be in trouble because if I marry a man with kids, because I'm going to love his kids more than him. I bet you. They're going to have to dump that man. Yeah, I'm a lover. I love to death. Yeah, I'm a lover. And I believe in success. So I push. I believe in everyone that you can become something in life. And I'll make sure I'll push you until you get there. That's who I am. I'm a builder. I'm anointed. Whatever I touch with my hands turn to gold. And so I'm sorry, y'all. So there's your kids. They're your children. Please, by all means, let's build very stable society by respecting each other. These are your children. I can't even imagine looking at his son and think I must sleep with his son? With his son? That's a curse. You're cursed. This man is cursed. It's sad. It is sad. All right, that's all I have for you this morning, and I'll meet you again later in the evening. In between, we are sending short clips for those that want to see 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. People have been complaining, so some people are going to be doing that for you, and we're going to be a blessing. I tell you, I'm here just to be a blessing. I'm an offering, and I want to help you to build the life that God has called you to be. I love you so much. May God bless you, and may God bless Zimbabwe. So, guys, once again, we're going to meet in Zimbabwe. So, for those I know, I love you. I know I care for you. Like I live for you. You know what I live for you. Once again, I thank you for your support. It really means a lot. So guys, please have a good one. And some of you sleep tight until we meet again. I love you. Don't forget to like the life before you leave. Don't forget. Just make sure you like the life before you leave. I love you. You guys must have a good one. Don't forget to like the live before you leave. Okay. And bye for now. Oh boy.